يروا أن الله يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and express my deepest gratitude to our distinguished guests, His Excellency Mr. Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry, High Commissioner for Pakistan, Mr. Qamar Zaman, Consul General of Pakistan, Mr. Ali Sevim, Consul General of Turkey, Ms. Julia Finn, Member for Parliament, Granville, Mr. Mark Robert Hodges, MP, Castle Hill, Honorable Philip Roddick, Mayor of Hornsby Shire Council, Dr. Peter Gangjami, Mayor of Hills Shire Council, Mr. Atif Alothri, Saudi Commercial Attaché, Dr. Ratab Junaid, President of AFIC, and Brigadier Laik Rafiq, Defense Attaché of Pakistan. A warm welcome to each esteemed guest gathered here tonight for our annual gala dinner. It is an honor to stand before you as the President of the Chamber and as the host of the event. I would also like to acknowledge presence of Mr. Hassan Gengtrik, President of the World Turkish Business Council, Australia, Madam Uzma Gilani, legendary artist and pride of performance by the Government of Pakistan, Mr. Hamis Roha, President of Pakistan Association of Australia, and all other guests who have spared their valuable time to join this event today. APC goal is to promote business activities between Australia.
I want to thank everyone for being here this evening, and it's a really very, very special occasion as we come together for the annual gala of the Australia-Pakistan Chamber of Trade, Commerce and Industry. I also want to thank our hosts, Mr. Mohammed Asif, the President, and the Chamber's good friend, Mr. Hassan Genshuk.
Well, we've already heard some acknowledgements of the dignitaries here, so I too would also like to acknowledge the dignitaries here tonight, and I commence by acknowledging the Mayor of the Council on which we are here tonight.
The Chamber helps deliver business relationships amongst companies, sole traders and individuals to advance the commercial, financial, industrial and civic interests of the Pakistani community residing in Australia and New Zealand.
But can I first acknowledge the traditional owners? Can I say, Excellency, it's great to have you with us here in this area. I had to get a visa too. Hornsby's on the other side of the road. I acknowledge my mayoral colleague and thank him for his visa. Can I say to our members of Parliament, congratulations on magnificent addresses. I thought they were informed and very helpful. And Mayor, can I say thank you for making that acknowledgement about the tragic events that we've seen recently. I was in Bondi Junction only 2 days ago, laying a wreath. The mayors of the western suburbs went to commiserate with people as a result of what has happened. And I have to say, Mayor Gangjami, your identification that there was a very significant Pakistani involvement was very appropriate. I do take the opportunity from time to time, having been to Pakistan some 40 years ago, to say how much I enjoyed visiting Karachi, Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Lahore, and I have to say I spent a good deal of time in the Northwest Frontier Province. I went up to the Khyber Pass, and it was the time when the Soviet Union was occupying Afghanistan.
His Excellency Zahid Hafiz Choi Sahab, High Commissioner of Pakistan, Asif Sahab, Honorable Mayor and MPs, Consul General Turkey, Consul General Saudi Arabia, rest all of my friends who live here in Sydney, and we keep meeting, as we used to call it in Africa, all protocol observed, because I may not be knowing most of the people here. So first of all, let me thank Mr. Asif for having me here and on inviting me on this Australia-Pakistan Chambers, this annual gala dinner. Chamber is a very important, I'll say, element of trade promotion in Pakistan. In Pakistan, in Ministry of Commerce, we have got an organization known as Directorate General of Trade Organization, where all these chambers are registered. In Pakistan, we've got roughly close to 400 chambers. And recently, Ministry of Commerce has started also registering these offshore chambers also. So maybe, Mr. Asif, you can look at this option of registering this chamber back home with Ministry of Commerce so that we can make it a formal arrangement. Chambers provide different type of avenues to businesses. It can be for marketing activities, networking, training, promotion, and so many different things. It's very important that in Australia we should focus on this chamber and business activities which are taking place here. Last year was a great year for Pakistan-Australia trade, because in last year our trade exceeded the number of $1 billion in terms of US dollars. Basically, it was close to $1.6 billion in terms of Australian dollars. Unfortunately, we run a trade deficit, and this year trade deficit has widened a lot with Australia. Reason being, we have started importing lots of oilseed, which is canola, chickpeas, pulses from Australia. So in terms of agriculture products, the balance has shifted towards Australia, but overall balance is still in favor of Pakistan, because from Australia, Pakistan receives remittances of close to $1 billion. And all in all, Pakistan enjoys a current account surplus with Australia, which is very heartening to hear.
It's always very difficult to be the last speaker, because most of what you want to say has already been said. And it becomes even more difficult to become a speaker after the dinner, because after having our dinner, we switch from listening to speaking mode. But Asif Sahab, President, Australia-Pakistan Chamber of Trade, Commerce and Industry. Udma Gilani Sahiba, legend from Pakistan. Udma Gilani Sahiba, आपने जो कहा ना, आप सब यहाँ पे जो हैं, घर में आपकी चलती है. It was so good to hear that. Honorable members of the Parliament, Honorable Mayors, Consul General of Pakistan, Consul General of Turkey, our friend from Saudi Arabia, and our friends from Turkey, wonderful members of Pakistani diaspora. It's always a pleasure for me to be amongst all of you. Let me also share our deep condolences for the victims of Bondi Junction incident. Sadly, there were two Pakistanis also, Faraz Ahmed Tahir, who lost his life while saving others, and Mohammad Taha, who sustained serious injuries while saving many other lives. But Alhamdulillah, Mohammad Taha is now doing well. I was there with him at the hospital a day before yesterday, and it was so heartening to see him doing well. Even though his injuries were really deep, he was still in a lot of pain, but Alhamdulillah, he is on his path to recovery. And I would also like to convey my deepest appreciation to the first response teams. They all did a remarkable job. I think they are all heroes, and they all deserve a big round of applause from all of them. Let me speak about cricket. Rather than speaking about cricket in the last, let me begin by cricket. Our Honorable MP, Mark, shared some embarrassing figures of who won how many test matches. So, Mr. MP, let me tell you, we play cricket for the love of the game, not to And for all my Australian friends who believe that they won the World Cup because they were a better team, let me say 242 million people of Pakistan were praying for them. And that was because of our love for Australian cricket, but also because of the team that you were playing against. But in terms of Pakistan-Australia relations, Pakistan and Australia enjoy very friendly and cooperative relations. Australia is one of the first countries that we established diplomatic ties with. Since 1948, Australia has maintained a permanent resident diplomatic mission in Pakistan. We have institutional mechanisms in place. We have bilateral political and consultations that take place on a yearly basis. We have a joint trade committee to discuss all trade-related issues. We have deep collaboration in the defense and security sector between the two countries. As my colleague Kamar earlier mentioned, the trade between our two countries, the trade in goods is now almost $1 billion and another $1 billion in terms of trade in services. There are over 30,000 Pakistani students enrolled in various Australian universities, contributing more than $800 million a year. So that is, but in terms of Pakistani community, let me say, it's a diaspora of high achievers. It's a community of engineers, doctors, entrepreneurs, IT professionals. I have yet to visit an Australian town where a Pakistani doctor is not serving the community. I have yet to visit an Australian university where a Pakistani scholar is not contributing to the research taking place in that university. And if you look at the philanthropic work, be it COVID-19 pandemic here, be it the bushfire or the floods here, you will always find Pakistani community to be at the forefront. Pakistanis are philanthropic people. Let me share some very interesting figures with you. In terms of our GDP, Pakistanis contribute 1.1% of the GDP towards philanthropic causes. Now this puts us in the league of very rich countries like UK contributing 1.3% of their GDP to philanthropic causes, Canada contributing 1.2% of their GDP, and Pakistan is contributing 1.1% of their GDP towards philanthropic causes. And I'm not talking only about Pakistani diaspora, but also Pakistanis living inside Pakistan. There was a Stanford report that states that 98% of the Pakistanis contribute towards philanthropic work, charitable causes in one form or the other in their lives. So 98% of the Pakistanis have done some philanthropic work in their lives. And about the Pakistani diaspora, I have always said कि आप लोग पाकिस्तान से बाहर रहते हैं, लेकिन आपके दिल पाकिस्तान के साथ धड़कते हैं. हुकूमत पाकिस्तान को, पाकिस्तान की अवाम को आपकी मोहब्बत का भी एहसास है, आपकी कंट्रीब्यूशन का भी एहसास है. आपका बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है पाकिस्तान की डेवलपमेंट में, पाकिस्तान की सोशल डेवलपमेंट में, पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट में. आप पाकिस्तान से दूर हैं, लेकिन आप पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा हैं, और पाकिस्तानी भी आपकी तरफ देखते हैं, आपकी मोहब्बत की तरफ देखते हैं. और ये जो आप फिलंथ्रोपिक वर्क करते हैं यहाँ पे, अभी उम्मा गिलानी साहबा ने शौकत खानम हॉस्पिटल की बात की, ये अभी सुंदर की बात कर रहे हैं, शाहिद अफरीदी फाउंडेशन यहाँ पे, अभी अखुवत वाले यहाँ पे आए. तो ऑल दीज philanthropic organizations in Pakistan, they work very closely with the Pakistani diaspora. तो मैं आखिर में आप लोगों से एक दफ़ा फिर आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहूँ. It's always wonderful to be amongst you. Thank you very much.